To yet another DG3 stream where we are discussing
Wimbledon.
Wimbledon. We know, guys, we know that the tournament is over, but I think there are a lot of caveats that we can pick from the tournament and talk about them. And another thing, before you ask about my bizarre dressing sense today, why am I wearing these orange shaded sunglasses? The reason is because I lost a bet. As you can see, I am a dear friend of Novak, wherein the friendship is a little one-sided, but it still is whatever it is. And I lost a bet to this guy. I told him that Novak will win against Yannick, and even though that was my heart doing the talking, a bet is a bet.
Yeah, but guess who won? Me.
Yeah, well, he did. That's the reason why he's not wearing the bizarre glasses, but I am. Anyway, lots to talk about, and we want to start off with the final that happened at Wimbledon yesterday, where Yannick was playing against Sasha Zverev, and very classic setting where the number one and two are playing against each other in final. And when I say number two, I don't just mean the stream. I don't just mean I don't just mean, by the way, guys, that was our boss. In case you did not know, the DG3 that you see, the man running the show, who did not know that we are streaming. Anyway, I think when I was saying number one and two are playing, I was not talking about the tournament seeds, Naman. I was actually talking about the world number one and two, because as it stands, Sasha Zverev, after his deep run in Wimbledon, has now become the world number two. And that does pose a lot of questions around Carlos and his fitness, and we will come to that as well. But yeah, guys, broadly setting the context, that is what we will be discussing. I tend to analyze tennis a lot, and Naman follows it for vibes. But even though he follows it for vibes, he has a lot of context around the sport. So, Naman, to start off, initial impressions on the match that happened yesterday, what do you think?
I feel like the first two sets were peak phenomenal game. They were so good. Like both of them were serving at their peak. No one was able to break. I think in the first two sets there was only one break point faced, and that is such an amazing feat for a final, for a Grand Slam final, which is what everyone expects to see in a match. But I think in the third set, when Zverev had a break point and Yannick played a drop shot and Zverev slipped right in his spot, I think that is what changed the momentum of the game.
Makes sense, makes sense. And I think you somewhat are right about that. And I think there is also a sort of backstory to why that happens. See, in the first set also, we went all the way to tie breaks. And if you remember, I sent you one message before the match started that it will be a four-setter and Yannick will win. And Yannick will lose a set in tie breaks. And that's exactly what transpired. So the reason why I said it is Yannick is coming from a heart which is heavy with the loss of Roland Garros. And even though he's the world number one, he plays phenomenal tennis. I think it's very important to sometimes analyze that even though we are talking about the best players in the world of the sport, they still are human beings, and that is what sort of differentiates them from a machine that is constantly wired to, let's say, hit forehands or hit top spins at a particular speed. And even though this guy we are talking about had the run of his life after winning some 30 or 40 tour level matches, in the ATP tour, they still feel nerves and they still feel, the pressure of playing a Wimbledon final, because again, we're talking about the most prestigious tournament in the world. And if you look at that, I think Sasha has had those problems with, retaining composure when it comes to the top moments.
Yeah.
You want to say something?
He gets agitated a bit too quickly.
Yeah.
And he can't maintain his composure.
Yeah, see, part of it is also attributed to the way, blood sugar levels are operating in his body. We all know that, he has diabetes, and to be able to play at the level that he played yesterday after having, diabetes is not something that most people can do. And you must have seen, Naman, I'm sure you also must have caught that no player is allowed to keep their mobile phones, when they are playing a match in such tournaments. But only Sasha was allowed to keep a mobile phone out on his back, because that's not for show, that's not for liking a tweet when the match is going on, or to look at how Polymarket is reacting to it. It's only so that he can measure his blood sugar levels. But anyway, the point that I was trying to drive was that if you remember, I think he was playing clinical tennis against Flavio Cobolli in the final at French Open as well. But in the fourth set, he sort of gave it all away. Like, you could see him trembling. You could see basic forehand shots that he hits at such whopping speeds. Landing outside the line and not just by mere millimeters, like really, really outside the line. So he has this reputation of sort of tanking in the big moments. But I know this may sound controversial, but I think the amount of improvement that Sasha Zverev has introduced in his game, it's worth talking about. Your thoughts on that?
I mean, he's also allergic to grass.
Exactly.
And that is such a funny thing to me.
Yeah.
He's playing Wimbledon and he's allergic to grass.
He's playing the Wimbledon finale
Yeah, it's
and
like
he's
Michael
allergic to
Phelps
grass.
being allergic to water.
Yeah,
Which
exactly.
is not true.
Exactly. And many opponents against him. In fact, the matchup between him and Arthur Ferry, most people were writing Sasha off because they thought that Ferry A is a crowd favorite.
Correct.
B, I think people sort of believed, and that is the reason why you don't just have to consider what the market is saying. You also need to understand where the edge lies, and that is the reason why we have built DG3, guys. There is an intelligence panel over there which will tell you, which will help you to navigate such market perceptions, even though the majority believes it can be dumbfounded. So that is what people also felt. People felt that Arthur will win because on a casual Saturday he might get access to the center court at Wimbledon, but that is not at all true. So, and yeah, we saw how clinically Zverev won. I mean, we were watching the match live. We were just doing a stream before that. So there was a lot of action happening there as well. But I think, just in terms of, holding his own, keeping his cool, playing the shots meticulously well, I think Zverev has come a long way in terms of his gameplay.
Yeah, I mean, if you see his play from last year's French Open, I think he has improved a lot since then. And even this year's Australian Open as well. He has improved his game and his serve, to be precise. I think his first serve percentage was at an 80%, and his first serve win percent was also at an 80%.
That is crazy. That is like, these are stats that that you sort of dream of. Oh, we have a comment coming in from Twitter. Sinner's now beaten Zverev 10 times in a row. Is that just a bad matchup for Zverev or something deeper? First of all, that is a phenomenal question. And I think this is probably one of those times when I really, sort of I'm impressed with the level of the question as well. To answer that question, it's not a bad matchup, honestly, because if you remember Lee Kapitan, if you remember the first round that Sinner played in this tournament, it was a 5-set battle. And that too against a Serbian opponent that people did not expect that, people did not prepare for.
Was not
the Serbian that people did not prepare for, the guy that came out of the syllabus. So it's definitely not a bad matchup. I think we are talking about the top 10, 20 players of the world. And in this case, top 3 players of the world, who are all playing at a very similar level. In fact, if you notice, in the match that happened yesterday also, Zverev took the first set, even though it went to tie breaks, and the amount of power that this guy was putting in his serves, it was fantastic. Another point is, the reason why it was not a bad matchup is because this was the first tournament that Sinner was playing on grass. So while there are many tournaments like Halle, Queens, Bad Homburg, Eastbourne, where players get a chance to play competitive tennis on grass, Sinner did not do that and became the 8th man in history to win Wimbledon in the Open era without playing a warm-up tournament. So it was definitely not a bad matchup. Naman, would allow you to talk about, do you think there is something deeper at play here?
I mean, Sasha playing Yannick is not a bad matchup. Sasha playing Fritz is a bad matchup according to me.
Yeah.
But this time, Sasha managed to sail through Fritz.
Yeah.
Which I did not expect, and I had actually traded against him.
Yeah.
Yes. He proved me wrong. He proved my money wrong as well.
Yeah. Do you think Fritz falling down in the first set at around 4-all, and then, sort of like calling a medical timeout, getting the physio, sort of getting himself fixed, do you think that played a part? Do you think we would have gotten a great match had that not happened?
I think it's the same as last match where Sasha fell and hurt his right knee.
Yeah.
I think it's the same case here as well.
Makes sense.
We might have seen a 5-setter last night.
Makes sense. But just a point that I would like to add to Lee's question. I think another very important thing here is the way your brain really operates. So if you think about it, Naman, this was the first match that they played against each other on grass. So technically, no head-to-head really stands. All the time that Sinner has beaten Zverev, it has either been on clay or it has been on hard courts, which were fast. On grass, precision matters more than anything else. Like, it's very challenging to play like even a point on grass, which is, by the way, so slippery, and we spoke about that as well. So if you ask me, with the amount of grass tournaments that Sasha played, after winning Roland Garros, a tournament where Sinner was playing, if anything, I think the odds were slightly tilted, in my opinion, towards Sasha. Even though Polymarket did not believe so, Naman. So they pre-match, it was 80%, 80 cents Sinner winning and 20 cents Sasha winning. Your thoughts on, do you think that was a fair price?
I mean, it would have been a 35 for Sasha and not a 20. I think that was a bit low, a bit underpriced for him.
Especially after the first round horror that Sinner faced, no?
Correct.
Yeah, crazy. You were talking to me about some statistic about like how much money was getting moved in the men's winner market versus the women's winner market. Can you maybe talk a little more about that?
Yeah, the men's market had moved around $15 million, whereas the women had moved around $30 million. Double exactly. Which is, I think, a really crazy number which no one had expected. What do you think about it?
Honestly, I have absolutely no opinions about it because I'm as shocked as you are. I understand that because it's a three-set match, so historical proof of concept is really true. Because even in the tournaments leading up to Wimbledon for women's, you are expecting a three-set matchup. So Linda Noskova, who was actually the bad Homburg champion, turned out to be the Wimbledon champion as well. So I believe that people probably were riding on that instinct, like her form on grass. And a very special thing that I would want to talk about, considering now we're talking about Linda Noskova, is that in 2024, on the eve of Wimbledon, Linda lost her mother to cancer, and she could not participate in the tournament, and she was like highly prepared for the tournament as well. And this time when she won the tournament, she, like, it was a very heartwarming moment, man. Like, her looking up at the sky and, like, obviously tears rolling down her cheeks, where she mentioned everybody, her father, her team, her friends, everybody in the fans, the tournament organizers, ball kids. And like, I'm sure everyone who knows Linda and who like people who have been following her journey, they must be expecting that she did not mention her mother, but then she did. And I think it was a really heartwarming moment. And I think these are the moments where sport becomes more human, I would say, Naman. Like, it is human in its way where like real actual people are playing it. But if you remove that competitiveness, if you remove that hunger to win, if you just look at people for people, I think this is where the essence of sport really comes and shines at the front. Any shocker for you in the women's market? Like someone that you were expecting to win who crashed out terribly?
I mean, obviously, Iga Swiatek.
You were?
And Sabalenka as well.
Sabalenka really, I think after her engagement, the 5 tournaments that she has played, she has lost before quarterfinals. So Sabalenka, again, guys, all our love and big congratulations to Arena, for getting engaged. But just saying, just something that we ended up observing. Another interesting thing, Naman, that I wanted to talk to you about is, actually, I'll share my screen for this one. 1 second. Interesting thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and in fact, I wanted to start the conversation on this one. I think I shared the wrong market. I shared Lionel Messi goals.
I mean, yes.
I mean, what better way to share your screen, without remembering the god?
What's a king to a god?
What's human beings in a mob?
Yeah, what's a mob to king?
What's a king to a god? I mean, we can play that song at the background, I think. Why not? Why not? Can you find that song?
Sure.
Who will win more Grand Slams this year? Let me guys quickly pull that market up. Guys, can you hear the song? If not, then we are doing a futile exercise for nothing right now. No, I don't think it's making a lot of sense. That was a fail. All viewers. Oh, crazy man. Love how product placement is a part of our live streams also now. And not our product, by the way, guys. Anyway, so Naman, Alcaraz priced at 44 cents, Sinner priced at 70 cents. We just have one more Grand Slam to go, which starts on 25th of the next month. Alcaraz is still not looking in a good shape. The last video that I saw, he was actually practicing with a racket. The head of the racket was cut and the strings of the racket were removed so that there is no, like, he was not actually hitting a ball. The ball was still coming to him, but it was just passing directly through the racket. He was not hitting the ball. And the reason for that was so that he does not feel in this part of his wrist, he does not feel that pain, he does not feel that pressure, does not absorb that pressure. Considering that and considering the masterclass that Sinner displayed yesterday, do you really think that it's fair to price Sinner at 70 cents?
I think that's a great price for us to trade
Hmm.
because Sinner has been playing great, and a US Open hard court is actually a favorable surface for him, which he has won, I think, twice in his career.
Yeah.
And I think
Twice is Australian Open, right? Let us just quickly check, guys.
once against
Zinner.
he had won once against Fritz, and I think
So Australian Open 2 times, 24 and 25, Wimbledon 2 times, 25 and 26, and one US Open in 2024. So
against Fritz, the final.
This US Open?
Yeah.
Damn. Psychological block. Psychological block. The words together make a lot of sense. I'm just trying to understand the context right now. Anyway, yes, Naman. Oh, Federer admitted to that he had won against Nadal. Oh, so okay. So DG3 is saying that maybe Sinner has a psychological block, but psychological block against winning against Alcaraz, or against or a psychological block for winning another Grand Slam in the calendar year. Can you maybe tell us more, DG3? Oh, okay, got it. Sorry, Naman. Coming back to you. Yeah.
I think an injured Alcaraz is still a great threat to at least reach the second week of a Grand Slam and even a final. But him beating Sinner, who is at the peak of his game right now and who has just won Wimbledon, I think that is a very difficult. I think we are just assuming that both of us will reach the finals. Where US Open is actually a Grand Slam for the dark horses.
You're right.
Who knows?
Fast hard courts actually. Yeah. I mean, we have seen Emma Raducanu as a qualifier going all the way up and winning the the entire thing. So definitely, it's
I think we have seen Medvedev, Alcaraz, the Dominic Thiem as well, who have won US Open, and even Del Potro.
Yeah, correct. But again, Del Potro, winning it when he was not injured makes all the sense in the world because he was like a world-class player. Yeah. But then an injury happened to Del Potro, and then he pushed through that injury, and then he just ended his entire tennis career. I think the people sitting in Alcaraz's box probably will themselves ask him to not probably participate in that tournament because honestly, missing another Grand Slam will make more sense than missing the next 20.
Correct.
Right? And we are talking about Carlos Alcaraz, like the player who was already on his way to to establish himself as the greatest player of our generation. So that is definitely something that I'm very curious to see. I don't know, Naman. I feel that Alcaraz at 44 is also a good trade, and not because he's going to win the Grand Slam, but like you said, I think he's going to get into the second week of Grand Slam. And if he puts up a show, I think the market will be very fast to change their sentiment. What do you think?
And we can book a profit.
We can book a profit. Exactly. That is what DG3 allows us to do. So I have that opinion. And also Alcaraz can't write off his history at US Open. I mean, if we just look it up, Alcaraz slams list. Lit.
Also true.
So two US Opens, man. 2022 and 2025, which was last year. Against Sinner. And that too against Sinner. And that too in a brutal fashion, actually. And if you remember his match against Sasha, man. The 5-setter brutality semi-final. No, 25. I was talking about the wrong tournament. The 5-set semi-final was 2026 Australian Open. Sorry. Yeah, that was against Sinner, and that was a pretty good match, and Alcaraz came on top of it. He has taken some time off already. I mean, he did not participate in any tournament whatsoever after Madrid. People are expecting him to be back, in the early hardcourt season. He is also in the team for Laver Cup. So maybe not.
I think this market will highly depend on how he will play the next two Masters, if he plays them.
And I think this price will also change a lot based on his results in those Masters. I think we should really account for that as well.
Yeah, I think we should wait a bit.
We should wait a bit before trading this market. Yeah, makes sense. Sorry, I did not catch your thoughts on Sinner sitting at 70.
I think that's a fair price.
Yeah, do you think we should put like maybe $1 on Sinner?
Yeah, we should.
Okay, guys. So trading live on Sinner.
Yet again.
Sinner leads Alcaraz 2-0 on grass, but trails badly on clay and hard courts. Is that mental or just styles clashing? Naman, your take on this one?
That's a good question. He leads him on grass, but I think that speed-wise, not just hard courts. I think the US hard court is slower than the Australian ones. And I think that is why Alcaraz has an advantage, like he has on clay. That is why I think Sinner is trailing behind.
I also feel that Sinner has, I think at the moment he has the best defensive play amongst all the people.
Yeah, he plays great in fast courts.
Correct. But yeah, I feel that honestly, Sinner is one of the most complete players of our generation. So to be honest, I don't think that it's a mental block or a psychological barrier. I think it's just a matter of time. The sample set at the moment is kind of low, and honestly, both of them, like, they play at par in a way. So I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of hate from both Sinner and Alcaraz fans for this. But I genuinely believe that if there are any two players that are competing at the levels of maybe a Federer or a Rafa or a Djokovic, and pick up any combination of their matches, I think it's these two. Even Zverev yesterday match, it was great, and I really acknowledge the way he has improved his game. But I still feel that if it was Alcaraz playing against him, and even if it was like if Alcaraz was trailing 2-1 and he was down a break in the fourth set, I would still not put all my money on Sinner because I would still believe that Alcaraz can make a comeback. And we have seen that happen.
Correct.
So definitely that. Anything on the upcoming tournaments? Like, are you excited about the tournaments that are going to happen? I know that these are not all Masters 1000 or these are not all Grand Slams, but there are a bunch of tournaments coming up. There are a bunch of tournaments that have already begun. Search tennis. We probably will not get the right market.
But we do have the US Open one.
We do have a men's Open, US Open winner actually. US Open men's winner actually. Men's Open, US Open. Oh, this is a better price.
Yeah.
I mean, if Sinner has to win a Grand Slam for that market to resolve, why not trade here? 57 yes and 45 no. In fact, 57 yes is actually very good. I will place a trade on this right away.
Djokovic is at 6.1.
Why can't? Is it not like open for trading? Maybe something that we'll have to check. But this is so Sinner is at 57 cents, Alcaraz is at 15 cents, Zverev is at 8.2 cents, Djokovic at 6.1, Shelton at 2.5, Fritz at 2.5. Fritz, the US number one, is at 2.5 cents. Naman, your thoughts on that?
I think he can go up to, I think, 8 to 10 when the rounds clear up. But yeah, he's not winning.
But he lost to Nishesh Basavareddy in
But
the
yeah,
French Open.
He's not winning.
Yeah, he is not winning, that we know. But do you think 2.5 can prospectively become maybe 25?
No, not 25. I think it can go up to like 13 to 15.
Let me select an outcome. Yeah, man. I think I was doing something wrong. Sorry, guys. I got a beating from our product team just as I'm speaking right now because they built it right. I'm so sorry. But I think we should maybe, call $1 for Sinner winning the US Open. I think he will be riding this wave. He will be the most recent Grand Slam champion. And the tournament is not happening 4 months from now. It's happening next month.
Correct.
So, 40 days, I think Sinner will be able to hold his mental composure. But I also want to place $1 on Zverev at 8.2 cents. I think this absolutely makes no sense. He's playing peak tennis right now. He plays peak tennis on hard courts as well. In fact, he has lost 2 finals on hard courts, right? So, one or two? I don't know. Maybe one.
One against Thiem and one against
Sinner.
Yeah.
Correct. Dominic Thiem. What a match that was, man. And now they're great friends, by the way. We should definitely select Zverev, and we should, if we place $1, we get 10 more. Even if we cash out before, if we feel that he's dropping his form, I think we can easily make at least $5.
Yeah.
To other people who are watching us, in case you are also looking at this trade and if you think you want to do this, it's very simple. All you need to do is to sign up to DG3. Once you do sign up, you will get multiple options to sign in. In fact, Naman, do you think maybe we could show them how it's done? I mean, like we can just do like an entire walkthrough.
Yeah.
Let's do that. So guys, I will just put dg3.trade/terminal over here. And as you can see, a very beautiful design pops up. I will click on sign up or logging in. So we have all these options that you can select from. You can use your Google sign in, which is your Google account, which is already logged in. You can use Twitter in case, you want to be anonymous. You will not be entirely anonymous because I will know who you are. But if you have like a random account, then you can use Twitter. Discord is always an option, and we really double down on Discord. And the reason, I'll tell you a very good reason behind why you can actually consider Discord. See, once you sign up using Discord, you can also quickly join our DG3 Discord server. We will always know how to contact you. So let's say if there is a reward that you unlock, or if there is a rebate that needs to be paid to you, we can reach out to you. We can get in touch with you. Maybe we can talk to you about a personalized rewards plan as well. So, Discord, really recommend. And it is my job also, guys, to make sure that I can get in touch with you. So help a lad out, please. And the last thing definitely is to continue with a wallet. You can just use any external wallet that you might have, EVM compatible, and you will be able to get it rolling. I personally have used Google because the team already has my Discord, no other reason. Otherwise, I definitely would have used Discord. Anyway, so yeah, as you can see, I selected my account and it will take a minute for the terminal to initialize. I think minute is a lot, man. Sorry, it took like 5 seconds for it to initialize. And yeah, that's all. We entered the terminal. My balance can be seen here. In case I did not have any balance and I happen to hold crypto in some other, in some other accounts or in some other wallets, which are not these, then I can just use it from anywhere, using this particular modal. And a QR code will come. You just need to send Polygon USD on Polygon, and you will be all set to place your first trade. By the way, guys, in case you have used Polymarket, exactly similar process. Okay, so yeah, then you can just come here. You can select Sinner. Sinner we have already traded. We will trade a yes on Alexander Zverev. So let's go.
I also want to see what is the price in Fonseca.
Oh, Fonseca on a hard court?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Let's see. let's see. Let's see. Yeah, Fonseca is there. 1.6. Naman. You want to place one on Fonseca also?
Yeah. That's great.
Oh, I think I clicked on the order book. Oh, there is $36,000 in liquidity over here. So there is some market movement already. Like market has opinions, but the opinions don't seem to be in Fonseca's favor. Sadly. Okay. Let's go.
Alright.
Let's go. Cool. So I think these will be our picks. There are some comments which I would definitely want to address before we wrap up today's stream, guys. Sinner struggled with matches that run past the 4 hour mark, best of 5 on a hard court in New York, heat and humidity. Oh, sorry, I will read this slowly so that our listeners can also listen to it. Sinners struggled with matches that run past the 4 hour mark. Okay. Best of 5 on a hard court in New York, heat and humidity. Man, Arthur Ashe can be brutal.
Yeah.
Like it can be brutal. And humidity is a different physical test to grass. Is that still his biggest vulnerability going in? Can I take this one?
Yeah.
Not at all. Lee, not at all. And the reason for that is there was an interview that Sinner gave right before Wimbledon started. And I'm sure you must have seen him crashing out in the heat against Juan Manuel Cerundolo. I remember writing about this, that the guy who sent Sinner packing from France is a guy who did not even have a market, have a contract on the men's winner market on poly market. Anyway, but definitely not Lee, because he has made certain changes in his regimen. He has been training extra. He has been enduring more physical stress. And I think this is only going to change. He will be playing a lot of tournaments on hard courts, Shanghai Open, Cincinnati Masters, Toronto Masters, and then there will be Paris Masters. Paris Masters will be later, but bunch of tournaments are going to happen. There will be certain ATP 500 tournaments also. I think Washington Open is going to take place. These are all sorry guys, these are all tournaments where we expect Sinner to sort of get a grasp of how it's going to be, once he finally arrives at Arthur Ashe, playing, his, like, starting his campaign for the US Open. So I personally do not think so. Even yesterday it was a 4 hour match, right? I think it sort of touched the 4 hour mark. I could see Sinner holding his own even in the first match against Kekmanovic. Last set he beat him 6-2, and that is because Kekmanovic was tired, not Sinner. So great question, definitely, but I don't think that it's going to be a very big reason. The one thing that can go wrong is if Sinner starts playing in peak daylight. If there is peak daylight, and because it's so humid, I mean, if we are watching the Football World Cup, the match between Norway and England, Haaland was spent in the match that happened in Miami. So that can be a deadly combination for Sinner. And I think match timings, weather conditions, and how long on average are matches going on will be important points to track. Well, good news for all the DG3 users. We are already plugging all this information in the terminal. So you don't have to open 20 tabs. All of this information will be given right here on the terminal. And just in case you don't happen to open terminal, we are also sending out personalized emails where we are writing these stats down based on the sports that you enjoy. Naman here writes like fantastic DG3 signals where we are talking about, I think at the moment we are doing football, esports and tennis, where we are giving our understanding after analyzing like a bunch of data, so that at least the parts that we can predict, we can be backed with all the right data points for that. So I hope I have answered your question, Lee. Cool. Naman, any parting thoughts before we wrap up today's stream?
I mean, my parting thoughts would be that I want Fonseca to win US Open.
Fonseca to win US Open. Now I have to ask you why.
Because I think he's a great player. He's young. He's playing good tennis, and I think we need a new Grand Slam champion.
We just got a new Grand Slam champion in Zverev, don't you?
An even newer Grand Slam champion is what we want.
Okay, got it. I don't know. Like for me, I think.
Or Jack Draper. I love that guy. Just because he's funny.
Yeah.
I see Andy Murray in him.
Yeah. He is like that. You must have seen that video where, they are traveling in a car and 1,000 miles, the song is playing and Draper is like chugging a beer. Very, very funny, very funny.
Good song as well.
Yeah, great song as well, actually. Jack Draper, actually, I would also want him to win. I think a very modest guy. No air around him. When he is playing his game, the way he rips the forehand, I have not seen most people on tour do that. So Draper is definitely a solid pick. Yeah, and I don't not like the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't mind if Draper wins. But would want like someone to pull off another Emma Raducanu. I would want someone to maybe just qualify or get a wild card, and like how Arthur Ferry made it to semi-finals. I think the world roots for people like that. The world roots for underdogs. And yeah, man, I would definitely enjoy someone new winning US Open. But yeah, with you on someone new winning the Grand Slam. Taylor Fritz could also be that person though, although he has been around here for so long that you don't really, I don't know, not fresh or new according to you.
The final is against Sasha.
I mean, that's still, I think if Fritz, let's say, beats an Alcaraz or a Sinner, now that would be a match to watch, like how he beat Nadal at Madrid a few years back. Was it Madrid or was it Roma? I'm not really sure, but one of the two. Cool. Any more questions, guys, before we wrap it up? Maybe we can wait for 15 seconds. Let's see if there is any other question. If not, then thank you so much to whoever was listening to us today. We were a little low on energy, partly because Novak lost in Wimbledon, because we both love him, and partly because we were watching the match that was happening last night. So, expect more enthusiasm and more energy as we do more and more streams. We will also be talking about other tournaments that are not Grand Slams, but may provide edge to you all. And as traders, that is what we really, really enjoy, right? So we will be doing a bunch of these streams in the coming week, in the coming months. And until then, please take care of yourself. Do your own research. This is not financial advice. And yeah, DG3 loves you all. Take